Hello everyone, my name is Crystal and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, then hit that subscribe button because we're friends, we just haven't met yet.
Come on in, y'all, and pull up a chair. We're diving deep, there's stories to share. From boots on the ground to sky so blue. Hold my halo, we've got reviews for you. From the small town tales to the big time lights, we'll shine a spotlight, set it just right. Every word, every detail we pursue. Hold my halo, it's all for you. Hold my halo, kick off your shoes. Here we're digging in, finding the truth. Grab some sweet tea, won't you stay a spell? We're holding halos and ringing the bell. Yeah. Whether it's harp-hanging tales or a fiery scene, we'll cut through the noise, sharp and keen. Our eyes are honest, our voices are true. Hold my halo, let's break it through. So hit that like and stick around. This channel's the best in town. Laughter and wisdom in every line. Hold my halo, it's reviewing time. Hold my halo, we're glad you came. No two reviews will sound the same. From the mountain peaks to the river dew, we're holding halos for folks like you. Hold my halo, we're glad you came. No two reviews will sound the same. From the mountain peaks to the river dew, we're holding halos for folks like you.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I still haven't got a new intro. I am working on that, I promise. Hey Kim, hey Dutchie. Today I'm going to give you a little hillbilly history lesson that I know you didn't learn in school. I know I didn't learn it in school. If I did learn it in school, I would have paid very attention to this one. Now, to set the scene, it is 1976. Bell bottoms and disco are hotter than the devil's britches. And you would think that everything was just hunky-dory, you know, free living. But no. If that wouldn't even be a history lesson if I was giving it to you, not even from a hillbilly's perspective. You see, located in the DMZ is a place called, in the DMZ, you may ask, Crystal, what in the world is the DMZ? It's the Demilitarized Zone. And North Korea and South Korea at this point are in the middle of the Cold War. They're still going at it. The U.S. is over there. We're acting like referees, I guess, kind of like we always do. But there is a spot called the Joint Security Area, which is the JSA. Because we do everything in initials around here. Now, everything is not so peaceful there. The JSA should be a place where North Korea, South Korea, and the U.S. come together, kind of like to be face to face, exchange prisoners of war, kind of settle their differences if they have a falling out or a disagreement or what have you. Anyways, now, wouldn't you know, tensions are rising in this place where you've got people that don't like each other, but, they're heavily armed. And they're so close that they could share each other's toothpaste. Wouldn't you know that a problem arises? It's not a bomb. It's not a spy. It's a tree. You heard me right. Yeah, it's a tree. This tree had the audacity to block 2 checkpoints from the U.S. and South Korea. So they decide they're going to get together, do a little lawn work, going to trim its edges a little bit, because there's nothing worse if you're in the middle of a Cold War than to have a tree standing there just blocking your view so you can't be nosy. So the U.S. and South Korea come up with axes. Yeah, axes to trim this tree. Well, here rose up North Korea, and they're like, no, you don't. You ain't trimming our tree. This tree, it was planted by the great, whatever his name is. He ain't really important to me, but they made an excuse. We don't even know if he planted the tree. There becomes a fight. North Korea ends up getting a hold of the axes, killing 2 U.S. soldiers. We go back to our own little posts, and they end up calling in the president, telling him about the problems that's going down. Now, you also need to know who the president was at this time. It was none other than Gerald Ford. Now, one thing about Gerald Ford was this. He never ran for office as vice president. He never ran for president. He ended up getting both positions, just being that guy, a friend of Nixon. Well, Nixon's VP, little backstory, Nixon's VP ends up having to leave office. Nixon calls up Gerald Ford, says, hey, you know what? I haven't got a vice president. Would you like to fill in? Gerald Ford says, I ain't got nothing to do this week. So he decides to be VP. That's how he became vice president. Well, then here comes Watergate. Nixon resigns. Gerald Ford steps up as president. And one of the first things that he does is pardon Nixon. So the whole world don't like him anyway. And he has no chance of being voted in. Do you see where this becomes a problem? Because this man is making a decision about a tree. He comes up with Operation Paul Bunyan. Yeah, you heard me. Paul Bunyan. An operation named after a lumberjack folklore hero. Now, on August the 18th, August the 21st, this is what rolls in to the DMZ. That demilitarized zone. They show up to trim this tree, and they show up with attitude. They've got 23 vehicles, 2 30-man platoons, chainsaws. Yeah, because we learned our lesson the first time. We wasn't bringing axes this time, North Korea. Aircrafts, artillery, and backup forces mobilized. They had like this big ship out in the ocean, just looking just in case, like the nosy neighbor that we all have. All the soldiers are heavily armed, and bomber jets flew overhead. Yeah. North Korea, well, at first they wanted to act like they wasn't even there. Then they turn around and, the U.S. is like, no, you ain't going to act like we cut this tree and you didn't know about it. So they call them up and say, hey, we're here to do a little lawn work. North Korea stands there. They chop this tree down. and they leave this big stump as a kind of wooden middle finger to North Korea, saying, mess around and find out. And North Korea just kind of stands on the sidelines like, we really need to rethink our whole life choices about right now, because the U.S. wasn't here to play. They was not here to play. Now, afterwards, they end up putting a monument to memorialize the soldiers that did lose their life. If there is any point to this story at all, because this is a tree that could have possibly caused World War III. It takes zero effort to be a good human being. But now, if you're going to be telling us we can't trim a tree, you can always guarantee one thing's for certain, three things for sure. We're going to show up. We're going to cut down that tree, and we're going to do it in military fashion. And then we're going to log off. I love y'all. Until next time, this has been your hillbilly history lesson that you didn't learn in school. Now, if you did, let me know in the comments. If this is a new one to you, also let me know in the comments. Be a friend. Hit that like, share. That's an easy way you can help this channel out. Till next time, love y'all. Welcome to the holler.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Got a buildup of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby, have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no, you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you, but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away, as you fade away. As you fade away. known you too long, it hurts to